Galileo, we all know Galileo. He came up with the idea that the earth revolves around the sun. But when he told everyone about this idea, how did they react? Well, as you know, they pushed back on Galileo's theory, right? For many, many years. So he had a theory that he knew was true and others did not. And I believe that with many great creations, that is the case, that you have what I call a non-consensus insight, an insight that you have, that you see this, but others don't. Imagine Airbnb, for example, right? The founder of Airbnb went to all these venture capitalists who said, I'm not going to give you money for something where you get people go and stay in a room in your house. That's crazy. And then when I want to go, instead of a hotel, I stay in some random person's house. So what did Brian Chesky from Airbnb have? He had a key insight that he saw and others did not, okay? An insight that if you use this rating system, you can build trust and you can actually build a real business around that. And when you have an insight that you see and others don't, you know what it looks like to everyone else? It looks like an obsession. So you have to pick your obsession. What is that big insight that you have that others don't have? And that can be core to building your great creation. Now at Shazam, for me, my obsession was to have all the music. And it seems obvious now. But believe me, there was resistance against that because it costs a lot of money to have all the music. You have to go get it, and then you have to buy more and more computers to put it into, and you're just a startup. So there's tremendous resistance against it. But I believed this. See, here's what happened. We would show Shazam to someone, and we go, look, you just hold out this old Nokia phone and identifies the song. They try it, and they go, wow, that was amazing. Amazing. And then they would go home. And they think, you know what? I'm going to try it on that little local band from Baku. Because they wanted to see if it's really good. And if we didn't satisfy that they had that song, they wouldn't think it's that great. So we had to have all the songs, everything. That was my obsession. And it became the company's obsession. And we would go to great lengths. Let me give you an example. At that time, record companies would have a brand new release, right? A brand new release, Taylor Swift. But, not Taylor Swift, but imagine Taylor Swift. So that release would go onto a CD and they wouldn't sell it. You could not buy it. They would only send it to the radio station DJs. And the radio station DJs would play it on the radio and you'd hear it and you'd think, oh, I love that new Taylor Swift song. But you couldn't buy it. They would build up the hype, and then eventually you could buy it. Now, that was a problem for Shazam because we're a little startup, and we didn't get it either. And we needed it because that's exactly the song that people want to identify, the new song by Taylor Swift on the radio. So what are we going to do? We're a little startup. So here's what we did because we are obsessed. We formed a relationship with a DJ in central London at a major radio station. And every Monday, we put someone on a motorcycle and we sent them across central London on a motorcycle to the DJ to grab the new CDs that week, back on a motorcycle across central London to our office to put them into our database, back on this motorcycle across central London to the DJ so we could play them on the radio all week. Obsessed, right? You do what it takes when you're a startup. Thank you. And then let's take Grey's Anatomy, for example. That's another place where you hear great music sometimes, right? And guess what? This one I'm about to tell you is so hard that even Google didn't do it with its own music recognition. Because it takes obsession. Because what happens is it turns out that there's this role in Hollywood called a music supervisor. And what they do, their job is to go and find really cool songs, many songs that have never even been released. And then they place them into the TV shows, and you go, wow, that song was beautiful. What was that? And we had to know what that was as well. And so we would form personal relationships with each of the music supervisors in Hollywood, and we would get that secret information from them of what song is going to come out on Grey's Anatomy and every other movie and TV show so we can make sure it's in the database because we were obsessed.